Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. I'm your watch guy today. I'm reviewing a watch from London today. This is from a brand called DRACO London, and this is their Awakening Chronograph. Now, you probably haven't heard of them. In fact, I hadn't heard of them until I saw a couple of Instagram advertisements. Now, I see loads of watches on Instagram on the advertisements page because obviously I like a lot of watches on Instagram. I post about watches on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, by the way, it's Jason the Watch Guy. Go follow that. I post a lot of watch content, I guess. Anyway, so I saw an advert for this watch and genuinely, as soon as I saw it, it was love at first sight. It was absolutely beautiful. It had all the inspiration of the Speedmaster in there, but with a little bit of an urban twist, a little bit, I don't know, modernized, I guess. It just caught me. It really did catch me. And to be honest, I think it's going to catch a lot of you too. This is £250 on their website. I have linked them in the description. They also have an Instagram page. Go follow them. They post absolutely beautiful watches. They also sell a range of leather goods. They sent me a wallet, and to be honest, it's fantastic. So yeah, I'm not going to show you that though, because obviously this is watch related. So to get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way, they have sent me this watch for free. I don't have to send it back. To be completely clear, they sent me this watch, they sent me a strap, and they sent me a wallet. Now, I will only be reviewing the watch because that's what I want to show you guys. And yeah, they haven't asked for anything in return apart from a review. So yeah, everything's out in the open now, isn't it? Great. They actually told me in their opening email they're only going to work with someone that does honest reviews. So that was a weight off my shoulders because that's all I can do. Without further ado, guys, let's turn this camera around and let's get into this watch. So this is DRACO London's Awakening Chronograph. I absolutely love the aesthetic of this watch. It's just a fantastic pick up and go piece. Now they produce this in 3 different colour options. They have this one, which is the steel. They have a gunmetal and another one I can't quite remember the name of. Obviously you can spot all them in the website that I've linked in the description. As I also mentioned, they do offer other products such as wallets. They're actually really good quality. Now, this really does give me the Speedmaster type of vibe, but with a modern twist, and I quite like that modern twist. As you can see, we have a very special dial that I'll get into later on. And we have the usual chronograph type of styling here with the tachometer around the outer edge, but with a telemeter on the inside on the chapter ring, which is nice to see. So let's talk about the casing. This is fully 316L stainless steel, and it does have a mixture of brushing and polish finishing that I'll get into shortly. As I mentioned, this is £250 on their website, which I think is a very nice round number, a very nice offering, to be honest. I'd pay £250 for this type of quality. I mean, I've seen watches from brands like Citizen that are the same caliber as this, but much less quality in them, much less design thought out into it. I'm probably going to get hated for saying that because there's a lot of Citizen fans out there, but that's my genuine opinion. Let's talk about the dimensions of this watch. It is 41mm in diameter. It is 11mm thick. Lug to lug, we have it in at 49mm, and we have 20mm lugs on this one. This is a very vintage design with a little bit of a modern machining, a little bit of a modern twist. I really like the elements that they've pushed into this design, and I really like how well thought out it is. Now, we do have a VK Seiko movement in this one, as you probably suspected. Now that's going to be hit and miss with a lot of you. I quite like the VK movements. I think that it offers a full chronograph effect for a very good price. Now, you're not going to get an automatic chronograph at this price point. You may be able to pick up a mechanical chronograph with a Seagull ST movement, but again, that's going to be hand wound. It's not going to be for everyone. I think that you should really have a good mixture of quartz watches in your collection, and this is definitely one of those good quartz watches. So as I mentioned, we do have a mixture of brushed and polished finishing. I really like the brushing on the inner edge of these lugs with the polished accents going down this chamfered edge on the side and flowing into the edge of the lugs. I think that's a really nice effect, very Speedmaster-esque. We have vertical brushing on the side of the watch with vertical brushing on the opposing side. Also, we have some quite unique pushes over here for the chronograph. I'm just going to activate this for you. The usual mecha quartz type of sweep from that chronograph hand there. This is what they call a Dragon's Fire chronograph hand. This orange flame-like design on this one, I quite like that little aesthetic also. Again, I will get into that later on. The pushes, as I say, are very unique. They are fully polished, which accents the rest of the casing very well. Very firm and very well fitted, and as you see the click back to 0 on that there. This is a simple pull push crown. First position for the date window here, second position for the time. We have this triangular logo on the crown itself printed onto the crown. Now, another thing to mention are these screws on the side of the casing here. They are quite nice aesthetically, however, they are not functional. This is a quick release band, so we do not need these screws at all, but they do have a nice effect to the casing, I believe. This is obviously a fixed bezel, and it is in steel, stainless steel, as the rest of the casing is, and it sits very proudly above the rest of the casing. It's not over-designed, it's simple but effective, and I quite like that. We have a notch between the two layers of this bezel, and that is fully brushed also, as well as the top of the bezel having a circular brushing. These tachymeter markings are indented or engraved onto the bezel itself, which is a nice effect. Let's flip to the back of this watch. Now, the case back itself is actually quite complex. This is the intro to DRACO. You can find the story of DRACO on their website, I believe, but this is the intro to the story of DRACO, and that is quite impressive. I think that's a very unique case back. We have the usual information around the outer edge, hybrid chronograph, which refers to that mecha quartz movement, awakening, water resistance, and the sapphire crystal. Speaking of which, this is a sapphire crystal on this one. Now, a sapphire crystal at this price point is what I would expect from a watchmaker. However, it's not always what you get, so it is nice to see that DRACO have given us what we expect at this price point. Now, harping back to Citizen, probably wouldn't get a sapphire crystal at this point. Just saying. Now, this casing provides the watch with 100 meters of water resistance, which I think is a very suitable water resistance rating for this type of design. You're not going to expect this to be a dive watch. 100 meters, very fair. Now, as we move into this dial, you can see that it is actually a transparent dial with a thin layer of manual painting on it. That's really, really impressive for me, because I've never seen one of these transparent dials before in person. I've only seen them on Christopher Ward's, I think. And this is just absolutely gorgeous. I love the fact that you can see the movement in certain lights, and then in other lights it looks completely black. I think that's an absolutely fantastic design. Now, I am going to try and get some nice close-ups of this one for you, so you can see that transparent dial and also see the dark turn of it. We have applied stainless steel style indices around the rest of this dial. They are in baton fashion. Up at the 12 o'clock, we have double batons to distinguish that. We have the date window between the 5 and the 4 position, which I think keeps it out of the way a little bit. It's not going to be to everyone's taste. Not everyone likes a date window down there, but I quite like it. I think it's nice. And I do like having a date window on my watch. The chaptering actually acts as a telemeter, as you can see with the markings there. And it also, as well, gives a nice aesthetic to the watch and gives it a little bit of use, I guess. But yeah, it looks really, really nice. Now, that is a painted chaptering with white markings around the outer edge there. It also acts as a minute track, which is nice to see again. So we have 3 dials, as you would expect from a chronograph of this nature. We have the 24-hour dial over here, the chronograph minute hand to this side, and the ticking seconds hand down to the 6 o'clock. I like that all 3 dials are a separate style. We have the second hand with just 4 simple batons on that one. We have a very natural minute hand over here. Very natural design to that one, but more complex than the 24-hour. It's a little bit more compact, and I quite like that. So I think that it gives a little bit of a unique style to each of them, and I really am a fan of that. Up at the 12 o'clock, we have the DRACO logo, and a lot of people are quite a fan of that logo, and I can see why. I think it's a fantastic logo. It is painted to this dial, and I think it goes very well with the Dragon's Fire second hand. Speaking of which, let's tick that off again. It's a really nice, simple pencil style hand in a very bright orange type of colour. That does distinguish it very well from the rest of the dial, rest of the design. Also, we have a triangular counterbalance on this one, which I think is a nice design, and it ties in to the crown on this one. Let's flick that back. The handset on this is quite an unusual one. It's not one that you see very often. I'm not quite sure on what they call this style, but it does have a sort of dragon's eye type of look to it, or cat eyes type of look to those hands. The way that they delicately bulge and then fall off to the tip, I think that's quite nice. We have Lume centers with stainless steel style outer edges. So this is the Lume on the DRACO. It's actually well applied on the hands that it's actually applied onto. All the chronograph hands are lumed, as well as the hour and minute hands. However, that's all that's lumed, so it's a little bit, it's not very useful. Let's put it that way. I would have liked to see some lume around the rest of the dial. However, I don't know if that's me asking too much, because obviously it's not really what we're looking for in this type of watch in a chronograph. Low light situations aren't something that you rarely encounter in this watch's type of setting, I guess. It's not a dive watch, and it's not a pilot watch, so yeah. But the lume that they do have is well applied and seems to last, so yeah, fair enough. Now, as we move away from the head of this watch, we move on to this band, and honestly, this leather band is probably one of the best parts of this watch. I love it. I really do. I love the colour of it. This little like greeny blue type of aqua type of colour. It's just fantastic. It accents the watch very well. It's a feature on its own. It's very comfortable on wrist. Even now, I don't get on with butterfly clasps usually. Usually they rarely do me head in, but with this band, it's just super comfortable. I really do need to look into whether they sell these separately, because I know a couple of my watches that would really benefit from this type of watch strap. It's fantastic, isn't it? The stitching, really good. We have two keepers. We have the DRACO logo here on the clasp itself, or the buckle, if you will. This is opened with double pushers, and the clasp here actually has a little opening with the, I don't know what you call this, but yeah, I think that sticks into it. Very easy to use, very easy to change, and it's quite secure. As I say, really impressed by this band, and really it does make the watch stand out quite a bit more than what it usually would. Let me pop it on wrist, show you how it looks. As you can see, it's a very nice type of style. It is a very stylistic watch. I think that they've really outdone themselves on wearability, as well as the unique type of look to this one. That dial is just fantastic. It really is. Catches the light so well, and it's such a joy to wear in sunny situations, in sunny weather, because of the way that it does catch that light. Yeah, I've really fallen for this watch. I really do enjoy it. Not to say that I don't have any moans, so we'll get into them quickly. But this is a fantastic watch. Now, my moans are going to be along the same line as what everyone else is probably going to say. £250 for a VK movement. I know a lot of people are going to think that that's quite a high price to pay. However, with the rest of the design, the unique type of design on this one, and that dial being as fantastic as it is, I do think that's a good offering. I think that, yeah, I think it's worth it. I really do, especially with the quality of this band also. I mean, it's not a cheap leather band on this one. The build quality of the watch, as well as that, I think is fantastic. Secondly, I would have liked to see more lume on here, just so you can actually use the lume on the hands, because obviously without any indices being loomed or the minute tracker or anything like that, you can't really distinguish where those hands are. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more lume. And finally, I feel like the crown isn't the best. I feel like it's just plonked there. They've thought really well about the pushers and how they want the pushers to look, but then just use the standard crown. I don't know if that's the best option. Maybe rethink that one. But yeah, I think that's about all I have, because the rest of the watch I really love. The finishing's fantastic. The band's fantastic. The idea behind it's fantastic. Yeah, it's a brilliant piece. £250, and you could get yourself one of these. I think that's a good offer. So guys, that is the Awakening Chronograph from DRACO London. And honestly, I hope these guys are going to make more watches, because it's fantastic. It really is. Now, they are competing in a very, very compact market at the £250 mark. That's, yeah, it is what it is. There's a lot of competition there, especially with automatic watches. Now, obviously, this is a chronograph. It is a quartz watch. It is a VK movement in there. But for £250, I think it's a good option. I don't know if it's the one that you're going to pick. I don't know if it's the one that everyone wants. But if you like the style of this, if you like the look of it, I think it's fantastic. I really do. This has been perfect for my get up and go watch. Like that, you know, when I'm a little bit short of time in the morning because maybe I decided that I shouldn't listen to the first alarm. Well, that's what this is perfect for. I don't have to think about setting the time on it. I don't have to think about what I'm putting on. Just grab it, throw it on, go. And yeah, it gets a lot of compliments too. It's a pretty watch. As well as that, it's got a movement in there that works in a way that watch geeks like you and me can really get on with. I don't understand the hate around the VK movements. I think they're fantastic. Now, if you'd like to have a look at this watch, or you're considering buying it, I've linked DRACO London in the description. They also sell other goods, as I say, like wallets. I'm really enjoying mine. I'd like to say thank you to them for sending this watch in. I'm so made up that I get to keep it, because it is going to be a really nice addition to my collection. Thank you for watching this, guys. I hope you're going to consider subscribing to the channel if you just pop down there and hit that little red button. That really does help me out. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next one.